What's up? I hope it's not too loud, but whew, we're gonna make the best of it. Sorry, there's a wet spot on the bench. Welcome, all 200 new people. Thank you for subscribing. I am absolutely... There's a plane flying above. Okay, like I was saying, all 200 new subscribers. Wow, 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 wow. I had no idea that my interview with Fathering Autism would blow up like it did. I am blown away, honestly. And for all of you new people, welcome. Welcome to my channel. I hope you guys stick around for a long time. I hope you guys enjoy the content that I make. And since there are so many new people, and there's someone gonna sit at the bench right next, of course. But yeah, what was I saying? I lost my train of thought. I big time lost my train of thought. Alright, so that didn't work. Park is too loud and under more construction than I thought. So we're gonna try this somewhere else. Probably at home. Epic fail. Alright, so let's try this again, since the park was a failure and too loud and just, yeah, that wasn't gonna work. So, we're in my living room. Like I was saying, the 200 people that have subscribed is mind-blowing. Thank you and welcome. Welcome to my channel. I'm speechless. I'm literally at a loss for words for how much traffic my channel has gotten since I put up the video with Fathering Autism. Which, by the way, last time I looked, that video was over like 10,500 views. I've never had a video go that big. Never. And questions, and I'm sorry, you know, I haven't really responded to anybody on the questions. That's kind of what this video is going to be about, because one of the questions that I got a lot of was, you know, like, what it is exactly I do, and the differences between, like, working in a home setting and working in a school setting, and just stuff like that. So, for you guys that are new to my channel, I am a ABA therapist. I've been called I've been given many different job titles. ABA therapist, behavior therapist. In the school system, we're kind of known as like para-educators. I'm an RBT. I have a background in ABA therapy. I am RBT certified, which means I am a registered behavioral technician. It's through the behavioral board. So you have, on the behavioral board's website, you have BCBA, assistant BCBA, RBT. I'm RBT. That's where I stand. In terms of what it's like working in a school setting versus working in a home setting, they are both, it's a huge difference, at least in my experiences, and that's what I'm going to be talking about. I'm going to be telling you guys my experiences. I don't know if this is like, if it's like this for everybody, but it's just my experiences working at a school site versus working at a home. They both have their positives, they both have their negatives. I'm going to start in school site. In a school site, in my experiences, it's been fantastic because you have support all around you. One site that I was at, everyone in the classroom did the same job as me. We had, I think at minimum, we had 4 adults in the classroom. That was including the teacher. So 3 aides with 1 teacher, and everyone knew each kid. Now, some staff had a better relationship, had a better rapport, which is fine, not uncommon, you know. Kids gravitate towards the adults gravitate towards certain kids. It's life. That's what happens. The one nice thing about the school setting was your day is unpredictable but predictable. For the most part, you know, okay, at this time this is happening, at this time this is happening. Recess is the same time every day. Lunch is the same time every day. We go to the library, computer lab, whatever it may be, it's consistently the same time every day. The inconsistent part would be behaviors. One of the sites I was at, behaviors were very, very high. Today your kid could be great and have an awesome day. Tomorrow it could be a rough day. You know, there could be a lot of behaviors, a lot of tantrum, and it could be for a number of reasons. They didn't get enough sleep, they're hungry, mom or dad is out of town, brother or sister are out of town, you know, whatever. And you guys work through it together. The benefit of working in a school site when situations like that come up is if you need help, all you gotta do is like, I need help. I need help, and someone will come help you. You know, I worked with people that I just had to say my coworker's name, and they would come over. What do you need? Tell me what you need, and I'll help you. And you know, sometimes it was just, hey, like I'm dealing with this, but I need my token board. It's on the other side of the room. Or I've had instances where, I mean, I got long hair. My hair used to be longer. If you go back in some of my other videos, it was pretty long. I had a kid, he grabbed my ponytail from behind. There was nothing I could do. So I was just like, hey, I need help. I grabbed my hair so he was no longer pulling it like off my scalp, and I just was like, hey, I need help. Within a matter of seconds, someone was there helping me with that situation. That is one of the biggest advantages to working at a school site that I've experienced, is just the help, the support. If something's not working, you have someone there in the moment to bounce ideas off of, stuff like that. Downside for working in the schools, sometimes you don't always get that follow through just because the schedule doesn't allow it, and that can get frustrating sometimes, because I have worked with kids where, you know, they know that in 20 minutes we're going to recess regardless of if they do their work or not. That is something that at times can get frustrating, because then you can't follow through with you need to do your work and then we can do something fun, because they can't miss recess. They have to have recess. Not being able to follow through, you're in charge, but you're not in charge. That's another thing. And it's one of those, I understand, you know, I'm just the aide. There's a teacher there, you know, they have a higher education and all that whatnot. But at times it is frustrating when you think tweaking a program or adding something, you know, just small little things, you don't have the authority to do, because you're not the one that's running the classroom. That at times can get frustrating. Let's move on to working in the home. The home, when I first started with a home client, I hated it. It was my first time. I wasn't really given any direction on like how to run the session, and I would say for the first couple of months I really hated it, and I thought about dropping my home client and only working in a school site. Now, after those few months had passed and I figured out, you know, what I needed to do and how I needed to do it, I loved it. That client was one of my favorite kids. That kid was amazing, and I watched him grow so much. But one of the biggest things, at least in my experience, was there was a little bit of a lack of direction, which, okay, fine. I figured it out. It was a little intimidating because you're kind of on their turf in a way. It's kind of like, as an adult, like your parents coming to your house and them telling you what to do. Them telling you, no, you can't have ice cream, even though it's your house, you bought it, you're an adult. You know, they're not in charge of you. It almost felt like that felt similar to me. Of, you know, you have someone, I was going into their house and telling them what to do. If a stranger came into my house and started telling me what to do, I wouldn't listen to them. That's kind of the like equivalent of, that's the way I can describe it. Another negative about working in the home, sometimes the parents aren't always there. They have to be there, they have to be in the house, but they're not involved in the session. They don't care necessarily to be a part of session or to watch the session. I've seen cases where the therapist shows up, parents let the therapist in, parents go to their room and spend the entirety of session in their room on their phone or, you know, whatever, watching TV while the therapist is running session. And that sucks, because you don't have that help, you don't have that support like you do in the school setting, where if something happens and you need an extra set of hands or you need help with something, you have it. In the home setting, you don't always have that help. That is one frustrating aspect of working in the home. But to turn into a positive about working in the home, you do get to decide how to run your session. Whether, you know, you have an hour session, 2 hours, 3 hours, however long your session is, for the most part, you're in charge of how it gets ran. Like, you're given, you know, you need to do ABC, XYZ, but as long as you do those things, things, it doesn't matter what order you do them in, how, like, as long as you're hitting your marks and the goals, doesn't matter how you get there. As long as you're doing everything appropriately and correctly, it doesn't matter if you're playing with them while they're identifying household items. You know, you could be playing Legos and still getting your data and meeting your goals, or you could have them sit at the table and it be more structured. It just depends on you, the kid, you know, your style, however you want to do it. You get that freedom to choose. You don't necessarily get that in the school setting. In the school setting, pretty much everything is you sit at a desk, you do ABC, XYZ, all of that. And that was one thing hard for me when I first started, was I tried to be more playful in how I ran session, and it was a disaster. I wasn't having fun. I don't really think my client was having fun. It was, I hated it. But once I switched to doing session a little bit more structured, and we would sit at the table, and you know, he would work for a break. That was his biggest thing, is he wanted a break. So we would work for 20-30 minutes at a time, 2-minute break. And that is how I ran session, because that's what worked best for me and him. You have to just find, you know, whatever works for you and your client. Another benefit of working in the home, at least for me, my experience, I didn't have to jump straight into running my programs. When I first started with my client in the home, I spent 2 to 2.5 weeks just building rapport. I didn't run any program. I played with him, so he didn't see me as someone that was just work. And that's something that you have to do that you don't always get the benefit of in a school setting, because you're at school, you're there to work. Now, yes, for a home case, you know, I'm there to work, but it makes life so much easier for you and your client if you have that rapport and you have just the trust of, you know, you give me 5 minutes of work, you can go play. Or you give me 10 minutes of this, you can go play. Sometimes it's just, you gotta find that balance. Another negative of working at a home with a client is parents. Sometimes the parents interrupt sessions. Sometimes they can get in the way and throw your data off, because sometimes the parents don't fully understand what you're trying to do. For example, if you're working on like communication and just your client simply answering a question like, hey, what color is this? I know as a therapist to give the client some time to respond, and it's different for every client. You have that mental clock in your head of, hey, what color is this? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then you prompt. You know, you give that 5 seconds, 10 seconds, whatever the client needs for them to process what you're saying, and then let them respond. Sometimes parents don't understand that, and you're like, hey, what color is this? And the parent's like, come on, answer, you know what that is, answer. And they don't give that response time. And that can throw your data off and really make session hard, because it's hard to tell a parent sometimes, hey, go away, I got this, like, you're good. You don't have to sit here and be here for the entire session. Like, it's great that you want to be here, but you're kind of messing things up. Go away. And I say that, you know, it's not that we want you to go away, it's just sit quietly. Or you have the parents give the answer of, hey, what color is this? And they're like, that's orange, you know it's orange, come on, say it's orange. That's just another downfall of sometimes working in the home. I will say that working in the home and working in schools, they both have their benefits, they both have their downsides. I would honestly say, if you're a therapist, if you're an RBT, you know, whatever level you are, if you have the opportunity to work in a school and you've never worked in a school, do it. Try it. Give it a shot. If you only worked in a school and you've never worked in home, if you have an opportunity to take on a home case, even just to go and observe a home case, do it. It's totally different of how things are ran, and how just everything is different. It's like, it's black and white is one, like, probably the best way I can explain it is it's black and white. You know, school, it's more academics. Home, it's more personal. You might be working on hygiene. You might be working on buttoning a shirt, tying shoes, brushing teeth, things like that. Whereas in the school, you're more so working on math, writing names, spelling, you know, stuff like that. it's just, they're both very different, but they're both fun. They both can be very much fun. And if you can build that rapport, you're gonna have a way better time with your client than if you don't build that rapport. Building rapport is key, and you need that no matter what setting you're in, whether you're home or at school. You need, or even in a regional center, or where the client comes to you. It's better if you have that rapport. Now, I've never worked in a regional center or anything like that. I'd be down to give it a shot if the opportunity ever came up, but right now I'm in a school. I'm happy. The opportunity to work in a home right now is not there. If the opportunity came up, I would probably take it, just because it's so different, and I felt I got even better as a therapist working in the home and at the school. I felt like I was using more of what I've learned, and I felt so much more comfortable in myself and my abilities and my skill set once I started doing both. Because at school I would do, I would use maybe half of what I actually learned, but then at home I would use I was using half and half, which not half and half, but maybe half and then maybe 25% of what I actually learned. So it made me feel even more confident in my abilities because I was using things more. Something would come up and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that. And it's the blah blah blah. And I feel like I'm just rambling now. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that helps answer some of your guys' questions. Again, I appreciate every single one of you that has subscribed and has watched. Thank you so much. I hope you guys stick around for a very long time. I hope you guys enjoy what I put out. And I'm still blown away by how many people have watched the interview and how many people have subscribed. So just thank you. That's really all I can say is thank you. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you guys next week with another video. Have a good weekend.